Everyone, welcome to my class today. Today we'll be dealing with the next research topic, that is problem statement. So first we must know what is research problem. So research problem means it is a subject matter. So that means on which we are going to study. We make scholarly communication. Scholarly communication is nothing but the research problem is clearly written so that everyone can understand. Okay, so by reading these scholarly communication, we get an idea how to do the research. So with topics we by conversation means which we get idea from others. By talking with each other we discover new knowledge or understanding and make a topic or may find out a problem for the research, that is called as research problem. Coming to the definition of problem statement, so it is a definite or a clear statement. So we write a clear statement on the problem or the study which we are going to do. So this problem will be on the area of our concern. Okay, so that means which area, or in our clinical area some problem will be arising, so that will be our concern. So we have to do that study, and any improvement we have to make. Okay, so if there is some existing condition is not good, then we want to make some improvement, or if there is any difficulty to be eliminated. So in our practice, if there is some difficulty, there are problems, errors are there, and so many issues are there, and we wanted to find out the problem and eliminate the problem, or if there is any troubling question existing in a scholarly literature. So that means previously if someone has done the study and they have given some recommendations or questions how to further we can do the study, then we can find the statement of problem from those literature. And if there is any existing theory that we want to find some meaningful and understanding, in an understanding way we have wanted to find some existing theories, then we can do the research on the particular topic, and we can make deliberate investigation is nothing but studying about that problem is called as problem statement. Coming to the steps in problem statement, first we have to identify and the concept and terms that make the topic statement. Okay, so that means first we have to see, like if we are going to do a study, we have some mental image or mental idea about how we are going to do the study. So that is called as concept. So you have to identify on what concept or on what subject I am going to do the study. Okay, and terms is whenever we make a concept, then what all the terms we are using, so we have to, that is the wordings we use in problem statement, everything we have to identify and keep, that is called identifying the concepts. And second one is review of related literature. So once we have identified the concept, so based on that subject matter we have to go to library, take the books and read, or through the internet we have to do a thorough research so that we will get the idea of how to formulate the problem statement. Step 3 is look for sources that can help broaden, modify or strengthen initial thoughts and arguments. Okay, so we have to see if there any external sources are there related to our study, or if there is any scholarly articles where there may be a criticism made in that article, so we can develop from that criticism and make our own formal statement problem. Okay, and then detailed outline of paper after final thinking and synthesis of the problem. Okay, so that means once we have identified the problem, then we have to make an outline is like my problem statement will cover these boundaries. So that means my on what topic, on what geographical area, on which area, so like that I have to make a boundary on which I am going to do the study. So that is the fourth step in problem statement. First step, that is identifying the concept and terms that make up topic statement. So we have to do the following. So first is we have to find out the aspects on which we are going to view the research problem. Okay, so that means on if we are going to do the study on diabetes mellitus, on what aspects. So in diabetes mellitus there is so many things like exercise, nutrition, maintaining hygiene, and all the skin care, nail care, so all those things will come. So but we have to select on which aspect I am going to do the study, and then determine the components of the initial variable or unit analysis, so that it will broken down into smaller parts and that can be analyzed very precisely. Okay, so that means if we keep, so there are so many problems existing in the universe and so many patients are there in the universe, and you cannot go whole of the universe and do the study. So you have to break it down into the smaller parts, and that smaller part should be a representing the general population, and on that we have to do the analysis, and we have to analyze that small part clearly, and from that we have to formulate the statement. Then we have to identify on which method or way I will be performing the study. Okay, so there are so many study, like some studies are descriptive type, some are comparative type, or some are experimental type. So according to the researcher knowledge and ability, you will be finding the way how to do the study. Then you have to look for the geographical area, that is the place where I am going to do the study. So as I already said, universe, the world is a very big place and we cannot do the study in the whole world, so we have to specify the place where the research will be done. And then you have to design the study and around the relationship between the specific variables. Okay, so mainly there is independent and dependent variable, which is called as cause effect relationship. Okay, so for example, if I say back massage is treating labor pain, so there are two variables, one is back massage and labor pain is the another variable. So that cause effect relationship should be designed in our study. Okay, and then focus the topic in terms of specific type of class, people, or place or phenomena. Okay, so that is which type of people or which class of people or which place I will be doing. So all those things will be specified in our research problem. So this is the first step. Okay, the second step is reviewing the related literature. So that is based on the subject matter we are going to do the study, we have to review the literature. So first, in our course syllabus books we can get the material, so from that we can get the information or knowledge about the subject topic. And then we have to study the recent book, journals and articles. So recent books, journals, they will have the latest idea, latest technology, so you can get the knowledge from these books. And you have to conduct a preliminary review of literature using multidisciplinary database or subject specific database is nothing but on the computer, so many websites are there, like PubMed and Medline. So all those websites are there, so these are all databases. So from these we can search and find our find the literature related to our study. So this search can be done in multidisciplinary, means you can also search in other databases which is other than our subject matter, and specific databases based on the subject also we have to search. So both the subject matter and also multidisciplinary, all the databases you have to search, so that you will get a broad idea or knowledge about the topic. And then choose the advanced search option in database and enter the main concept terms that are developed in the research. So what all the concept, what all the words you will be using, so on all the words you have to search it on the databases. So that is on the website you have to search, and consider using their synonym and retrieve additional relevant records. Okay, so sometimes certain words like dyspnea, so it is difficulty in breathing, so you have to search dyspnea also and difficulty in breathing. So all the synonymous, all the words that are surrounding the meaning you have to search, then only you can get a wider knowledge about the research topic. And this reviewing literature will be done several times until you will be finalizing the topic, because all the words you are using in the research should be clear, concise, precise. So you have to several times you have to do the review of literature so that you can finalize the topic. Step 3, that is looking for sources that can help in broaden or strengthen the initial thoughts and arguments related to the research. So there is source of criticism. So we have to identify in other research. So when we do the review of literature, we will know other research where there is criticism. Criticism is there is something wrong which is mentioned, or there's evidence which is given, the proof which is done is not clear, or there is an argument which is unsatisfactory. So when previous studies are not giving the proper evidence, or they did not interpret the results and the results are not satisfactory, then we can modify that area and do the research. So we have to see the sources of criticism and sources of new ideas. Okay, sometimes we will have some idea, which may be a very narrow idea. Okay, so that means some smaller idea. So when we keep seeing the other person ideas and other literatures, etc., then we will get so many new ideas, so that we can extend, modify, or refine our research study from our own position and in light of idea of others. Okay, so what is our standard related to the study and what is the idea? So both ideas we can combine and come to a decision how to modify the research. Continuing with the sources, next is sources of historical content. Okay, so that means we have to determine the familiar events, that is the historic events which happened, and we have to compare it with the contemporary, that is with the recent or the present event. We have to compare it, and we have to identify the key people, place, role, so which what role they played in the historical area. So like that, related to our problem of study. So if there is an historical event, so we have to compare it and formulate the research. Okay, for example, when now COVID-19 pandemic came, okay, so people started to go back and research for the historical diseases like COVID. So from that they identified that there was a Spanish flu or influenza also was troubling the society, like the present situation so previously. So like that they can compare, and from that they can modify the risk. Okay, finally, in sources from interdisciplinary insight. So this is we have to explore the topic which is present in other subject matter also. So we have to see all the publication in different disciplines, that is on the topic what we are going to study. Rather than that, we must also see the perspectives of the other interdisciplinary approach, so that we can get a broader idea about how to do the research. Final step, that is fourth step in the research process, is making a detailed outline of the paper after final thinking and synthesis of the problem. Okay, so that is we have to make an outline on these aspects the research will be done. Okay, so that is this will first help the researcher to know what he is intended to study. So this outline will be a goal for the researcher to follow the each section or to complete the research project. Okay, and it helps to stay organized and focused. Okay, so that means the researcher will be, so when there is an outline made, the researcher will go in that topic only. He will also get flow of ideas how to go about writing the research. Okay, and when the outline is detailed clearly, then the researcher topic, that is on topic, will be focused on the subject matter, so that the researcher will know on which boundaries he will perform the study. And also the when we make an outline, so the researcher will be motivated, so that he will know how to correctly write the research. Okay, so like wasting the time with writing something rubbish for pages and then knowing that it is wrong, it is not useful. Okay, so first itself we have to make an outline. And also it helps to organize multiple ideas, so that the researcher can analyze variety of perspectives and help the researcher to identify in which mode he will analyze and what will be the findings of the study. So everything the researcher will be making an outline previously. Okay, and this helps to organize the thoughts of the researcher, and also it serves as a schedule for correctly writing the research statement. Okay, and in this outline should also include all the specific dates when to complete the research. Everything should be there, so that the researcher can do it according to the planned time. Okay, next, coming to the criteria for a good problem statement. So first it should be clarity and precision. Okay, that means the statement, every words which are written should be clear and understood by any reader. And feasible, so feasible is the study should be a researchable topic. Okay, so anything which we cannot do, that should not be written in the research topic. So what information we can access, and only if the acquired, gather, and if we are able to interpret and synthesis and it is understood by everyone, that only feasible studies we have to do. And unbiased means the researchers should not have particular desire to a particular group and neglect the other group. Okay, so there should not be any bias while doing the study. And comprehensive is there should be identification of overarching questions or small set of questions accompanied by the key factors or variables. Okay, that means the researcher, the statement which is doing should be a value, which should have some value, and it should be comprehensive. Comprehensive is easily understood by the variables which are there can be easily identified. And concept, so there should be identification of key concept and terms. Okay, that means the idea of a person of the researcher should be understood when we read the research topic. The other criteria of good problem statement is delimitation. So delimitation is we have to maintain a limit or a boundary in which our study will be there. Okay, so the boundary can be related to age or it can be a geographical area. So according to the feasibility of the study, we have to maintain a delimitation. So that is a boundary. And generalization. So any study which we are doing should be used for the general public. So we have to do a research in such a way that the topic should be used for the general public. And significant is it should, the study should say what is the important and benefits, and it has to justify is you have to prove with an evidence. Okay, so only if the research trivial means it is not value. When the research is not a value, then it is useless to do the research. So there is value when our research is having value for the people and for the society, then that research can be done. Next is it should be simple. Simple means there should not be unnecessary jargon, that is like useless words we should not use. So overly complex sentence should not be used. Okay, so simple and easily understandable sentence only should be used in the research. And brevity. Brevity means the research should be brief. Okay, so that is which should be like a snapshot so that when we read the research we can understand the phenomena. The next topic is writing objectives. So research objectives means they describe concisely what the research is trying to achieve. Okay, so they summarize the accomplishment a researcher wishes to achieve through project and provides direction to the study. Okay, so that means the what goal or what is the purpose of the research and what is the goal and why the researcher is doing the study. So this should be written in a concise form before doing the study. So that is what is the aim or what the objectives the researcher wanted to achieve, that has to be written in the study so that the researcher will get a direction how to do the study, is called as research objective. Next is writing research objectives. Okay, so that is research, doing a research itself is a difficult task, and only when we write the objectives clearly, then the researcher will get a direction how to do the study. So in order to write the research objectives clearly, the researcher should be smart. Okay, in smart, yes, is specific. Specific means the objective should be written in a precise and a clear way about what the researcher is going to do. Okay, so that means it should be clear so that the researcher will get a direction how he will do the study. And next is measurable. So the wordings that we are using in the research objective should be in a action verb. Action verb is, that means we can measure the research. Okay, so like words can be used like assess, determine, compare, verify, calculate, describe. So these are the action words that we can evaluate or measure. So these words should be used. And achievable. Okay, so only what the researcher is able to achieve with the available resources and with available time. So those achievable objective only should be written. Okay, so anything which cannot be achieved by the researcher should not be written in the objectives. Next is realistic. So realistic means, so the researcher must recognize the time and resources are available and he has to make the objective in a realistic way. Okay, so what the researcher cannot do when it is very broad area and he is not able to do that, should not be written in the research objective. And lastly, it is time constraints. Time constraints should be also mentioned in the research. Okay, certain project will be done in a minimal time, that is within a less duration, like 1 month or 2 months, or whereas PhD studies we need to do for a long duration like 2 years, 3 years, etc. So based on that, the time constraints, the duration also will be mentioned in the research objectives. So these are the problem statement and objectives. I hope you would have understood the class. Thank you for listening. Please share, subscribe and comment if you are interested.